name is Randy Ellenchuck. I'm the president of Tabor Mountain Recreation Society. We'll refer to it as the acronym TMRS. TMRS was formed in 2007 through a partnership with Rec Sites and Trails BC. In 2011, we received Section 56 under Forest Rights and Practice Act, which provided TMRS with stewardship over 407 kilometers of trails and 27 recreation sites on a 33,000 hectare section of land on Tabor Mountain. We represent all of the clubs that use the mountain. So there's both motorized and non-motorized clubs, such as snowmobiles, horseback riding, skiing, you name it. Whatever you can come up with outdoors belongs to Tabor Mountain Recreation Society and uses Tabor Mountain. As far as a challenging trail situation, we don't have some of the major challenges that I've seen in other parts of the province, whereas both motorized and non-motorized up here in Prince George are all sitting at the table together, and I think that's one of the reasons why TMRS was formed. Was so that we could all sit at the table, hash out any differences, and share what has been provided for us through our partnership with Rec Sites and Trails BC. So at this particular point in time, if there is a challenge, it would be people on the mountain that don't belong to one of the clubs that uses the clubs and may not respect the fact that there are areas that are motorized and there are areas that are non-motorized. What we did was, first of all, take a look at the trails, and we started to do an inventory. And we first of all partnered with a lot of people, or a lot of companies, a lot of entities in and around the Prince George area. So it wasn't just the province through Rec Sites and Trails BC, but it's also with other governments. Municipal government and regional government, Regional District of Fraser Fort George. It's also with major corporations such as Canfor and Carrier Lumber, who have mandates on Tabor Mountain as well. And these were some of the important factors going forward to begin to grow and manage Tabor Mountain. From that point forward, it was just repeat the first part of your question again. I'm just losing it here. I lost my train of thought.
Sure, no problem. The question was, that's okay. The question is, what was done to improve the situation for users in the community? Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, partnering with commercial entities and partnering with the other governments was important to improving the situation. From there, it was getting everybody from the clubs sitting down together at the table and hashing out what they wanted to do in their sections of the mountain or with their trails. And at that particular point, we started to lay out plans and programs, and just proceeded from there to apply for grants, et cetera, and help the clubs to develop and reach their goals. One of the things that TMRS has become over the last year or so is we are more enablers. As Rec Sites and Trails is enablers to us, we are enablers to the clubs. So what we do is help them out with grant applications and various things such as that, so that they can reach their goals. It was primarily stakeholder approval was very, very important, and partnering was really the key goal in order for us to reach our goals. One more thing we have done is TMRS itself started working with spinal cord injury, and we do have a flagship program. And one thing that we always mandated was universal access for everyone. So we built the Great West Life Mobility Nature Trail, and we are now in the process of building the universal access campground so that people with mobility challenges, seniors, people with health issues have access to the wilderness as well. And this has really helped us to gain a lot of ground with our stakeholders, and that would be commercial stakeholders and the governmental stakeholders as well. I think the important lesson is that everybody can sit down together, and everybody can talk about what they can achieve and what they want to achieve, and this is really important. The other thing that's really important is to get the information about such a vast area that has so many different disciplines using it out to the rest of the general public. Prince George alone, I mean, we have 100,000 people probably with the surrounding area, so there's a lot of people that would actually be using Tabor Mountain, and this in itself has been an excellent experience. It's really important, though, that everybody sits down at the table and works together. In going forward, another thing that's really, really important and to pay attention to is volunteers and volunteerism, because without volunteers, we would have nothing. And there's volunteers that work in the field and cut bush and clean trails and stuff like that. But there's volunteers that lobby government and business, and there's volunteers that write grants. And these are very invaluable. Without that, you can't get anywhere. You have to have relationships and that type of people working with you, and you all have to get along. We started tracking, and this is very important as well, is to track all of your activities as far as volunteer work, in kind, donations, grants, that type of thing. And we started tracking in 2011 when we received our Section 56 under Forest Range and Practice Act, enabling us to manage the trails. But I can share two numbers with you here, 10,000 and 1 million. And that's what we passed as of January this year, is over 10,000 hours in volunteer work has been done on that mountain. And over $1 million in value in kind has been reached as far as grants, the value of volunteer work and in kind benefits that we've received so far. This year is exceptional. We'll probably be over 1.5 million this year, and it keeps growing. So we are very, very proud of the work that we've done, and I'm very, very proud of the team that has worked on this project since I've been involved, which was right from the beginning in 2007. I think basically what's happening is when volunteers do a job, they take some pride in what they're doing. I mean, we are very eco-friendly. I'm not going to pull any bones. 20 years ago, when I was a redneck and running around, it was nothing to throw your candy wrapper in the on the side of the trail. Those things don't happen anymore because we all have a very extensive vested interest. So we find that people that volunteer and work take that pride, and they really do a great job, and they're really concerned about the ecology and the area. They're concerned about the growth, the cleanup, and keeping everything humming along real smoothly.